If we haven't already, we might soon see what the world looks like after 50 silver dollars. I'll explain in this video as we look around. $50 in silver. To this day, I still can't believe we were so close to hitting it just the other day. But despite that, the silver price has been going back and forth. Right now, as I record this video, it has only gone up a little, but it is still less than $49 an ounce. Things could go wrong by the time you watch this video, though. That was seen in the last trade day, and it changes a lot. But I think it's a good question to ask what the market will be like once silver hits that record high of $50. Another thing to keep in mind is that silver never really got to $50 before 1980 and 2011. The all-time high for silver was $49.95. Summit Metals paid for the film, so I want to thank them. As we go along, please click on the link in the description below the next time you need to buy or sell something and enjoy the great customer service that Summit Metals offers. So, silver is a metal that is really on fire right now. The peak has gone up 71% since the start of the year, mostly in the last week, month, and year. In an interview with Investing News Network, David Morgan, editor of the Morgan Report, talked about how important it was for silver to reach $50 an ounce, calling it a crossing the Rubicon moment for the metal. What's going to happen is the question. The Silver Institute has reported some basic facts that go along with some of this, and even the most conservative CPM group says that the supply is getting tighter. That is, if we're not already in debt, we will be very soon. Now, demand rose by 4% year over year from 2024 to 680.5 million ounces. In 2025, growth is expected to stay the same. 59% of all silver demand for the year is expected to come from industry. They think that the solar industry will need 195.7 million ounces of silver this year in 2025, which means a lot of different things are going on. We also know that the iShares Silver Trust, the largest silver exchange-traded fund, is up more than 60% year-to-date as of October 7th. This is because buyers are buying safe assets. Silver mine production has been behind demand for years, and Metals Focus says that the silver market is on track for one of the biggest supply gaps ever, with 187.6 million ounces less than expected in 2025. We'll have to wait and see if those numbers are correct, but everyone agrees that supply is tight in industry and getting tighter for real bullion too. We talked about how silver eagles sell for more money, and when you go to sell them, you get more money because they are in great demand. Not only silver eagles, but also other kinds of silver are being bought again. It's pretty interesting to see that sales are back up. That's one of the things I think will really help this gathering. What will happen if silver really does go over $50? Silver hasn't really gone above $50 and stayed there in 50 years. So that's not how it feels. David Morgan says he thinks it's possible to do, and I agree with him that it will have a big impact on both the human traders and the computer systems used in today's silver futures market. The price of silver could then go to blue sky area. While I'm not ready to go that far, I do believe that it will be a new age and a new area, just as my prediction and forecast videos said it would be. I believe that we will end the year at $51. I think it will open up once we reach that number, but I think we need to stay above $50 for a while first. Morgan sees two sides to the silver coin when it comes to how investors think. Once silver hits $50, bulls will think that the moon is the next stop for silver, and bears will worry that silver is about to crash like it has in the past. Where is the middle ground? I try to help as many people as I can who want to know what the most likely outcome is and what the highest price is. There's no way to know for sure, but I think people will be more likely to favor silver. Ted Butler, an independent rare metals analyst, would agree with Morgan's view of the market. In an interview in October, Butler told INN that he wasn't expecting silver to reach $50 so quickly. He said that the speed of the rise has made him doubt whether the gain will last. Now that Ted Butler is dead, I'm not sure how this interview in October could have happened, unless there is still another Ted Butler alive. But I do think that we will finally go over $50. If you look at the short term, I'm not sure if it will be exactly in this cycle. But by the end of this year, there could be a good correction, or what Morgan calls high-level consolidation. But in the end, it will get through. I agree with that. When it gets to $50, the mass media will really start to talk about it. This is what will start the public involvement phase of the silver cycle, where regular people buy in. I agree with that. That will cause the bull run above $50. There might be more people in there. And yes, silver did hit that level in 2011. But it didn't last long. We did see, though, it didn't reach $50 in 2011. But it looked awfully close. I remember that big news outlets were covering it at the time. Because of this, there may be even more demand for silver than there is now. Institutional demand is already beginning to build. Based on the fact that the silver market has entered backwardization, Butler thinks that a $50 breakout is just around the corner. The idea of backwardation that we talked about. There is a difference between the futures price and the spot real price. This could make a lot of people want to buy physical silver, and investors might even decide to cash in their SLV assets. Silver is already in short supply due to a run on it, which could cause the price to rise even more dramatically. For me, the backwardization needed to get the SLV would last a lot longer and have a lot more breaks. It's not easy to do and can be very hard to make happen. But it's possible if it gets bigger or lasts for a long time. What could you do with this $50 to make it last longer? If silver wants to go against the past trend and make a more stable move above $50, it would need to pull back and get stable around a strong base of support. This time, we need to see it from a higher, more authoritative position. Structure-wise, the factors are in place to support higher silver prices. This is especially true since China is building more high-tech facilities and solar panels, and India is investing a lot of money. A lot of that, by the way, won't go away during decline. India is becoming a hotspot for silver ETFs since the Securities and Exchange Board allowed them at the end of 2021. Reuters says that in India, the profits from silver-backed ETFs have been higher than those from gold. Indian business, that is very important. We haven't talked about that in a while, but it's very important because that's where most of their people live in India. And a big driver that's setting the price of the cycle is a big source of new demand for silver. And the fact that there are still wars going on in different parts of the world is good for both silver's standing as a precious metal and its use in industry as a key metal. Also, we haven't heard if it will be added to the list in the US or not, but it might. I think that's good news for valuable metals. Let's see how that works out for silver and for the market as a whole. One clear bad thing about higher silver prices is that they will make things more expensive for individuals and businesses. For example, the price of silver has almost doubled in the last 18 months. This makes it more expensive to make solar panels and could lead makers to make changes. Even if the price has gone up, I don't think they'll make that many changes. 20 grams per panel is a very small cost when you think about how much work goes into making one. Let's check this out. When is it going to happen? At this point, it could happen at any time. The price of silver might go up. It might happen. It might be going on right now as I hit record. We could see it go up before you saw this video, but not as I record it. So what we need to do now is make sure that Mark stays there for a long time. I don't know where it could go from there, but I think the price will stay above $50 an ounce. And I think it would clearly make an extra $20 because, taking into account all-time highs, 2011 would have to be about $72 or so. It looks like that's what we have here. That seems like a new goal. We can get rid of the all-time high from the 1980s, which is over $200 when inflation is taken into account. Then we should look at silver worth $72 to $73 from there. But $20 is a lot of money to spend until it gets to you. I believe it would be better if we stayed above $50 an ounce and started to build support at that level, $51, $52, and in that range into next year. If we can hold on to that into next year for a long time, I think we'll see a continued rise, and a steady climb to $72 will be something to watch for in the years to come. It could take years too. Silver is having a hard time moving in a lot of different ways. We'll see how that goes. However, please tell me in the comments what you think a world made of $50 silver would look like. Do you believe it will reach its peak? Or do you think it will fall after it hit $50 an ounce or some other price? How does it look to you? I hope this video taught you something new and interesting. Thank you all so much for watching. Please rate, share, review, and subscribe.